Hello everyone, and welcome back to one of our classic little live streams. Today we have a very interesting live stream because not only are we going to be traveling the farthest we've ever traveled in a live stream, we're also going to have one of the shortest live streams thanks to this ridiculously I'm just going to call it ridiculously ridiculous airplane that Microsoft has given us care of the Top Gun 2 expansion pack here, which is a lot of fun. This is the Darkstar. I call this one the SR-72. Apparently Lockheed Martin's actually working on something very similar to this, and they built like a scale model just for like high-speed testing. So this is pretty experimental, and this should be a little ridiculous. So our flight today is going to take us out of Boston, which was a bit of a mistake on my part because unfortunately everybody thinks about Boston. So we have all these like, normal people enjoying the normal flights, and of course there's me in this highly experimental kind of a thing. I just was warned, make sure you try landing, make sure damage is off. It's okay. I have ground handling if things get going. So anyway, let's get this bucket going. Yeah, I pressed Control E, oh well. So first things first, I chose to set this up very, very early in the morning here because I want to chase the sun, so to speak, as we cross the Atlantic today. One thing you want to double check is to make sure that you pre-programmed your flight here. The probability of getting terribly broken up in midair is pretty likely, and by broken up, I don't mean physically, I mean in formation here. By the way, for those of you who like to join us today, we're sitting here. This is all players enabled, and I'm on the East USA server for those of you who want to kind of pop onto this. I've got a little bit of practice flying this thing. I'm not going to pretend like I'm good at it. Using this as your primary flight display is kind of difficult. I mean, I get people who want to use third person, kind of like fly like this or something to land it with like the little instrumentation over here, flight sim style. But at least on a lot of Russian aircraft, you have a periscope right here, like on a MiG-25 for the guy in the back seat. So you can actually drop down a display and see over the nose physically. It's not safe, but at least it works, kind of a thing like that. Okay, let's make sure we have enabled our afterburner here. I'm going to go ahead and click that button real fast. That's set to go. I should probably turn on some lights or something to kind of make sure everybody's around me. Again, I'm taking my time just a little bit today because I don't want to get too... Oh, I did not want that. I want it off. There it goes. I wanted to just take a few moments to double check to make sure that people will have the chance to catch up to me. Activate some lights there. Parking brake, I'll disable you in just a minute. I love the parking brake being a switch. There's just something really naughty about that. All engines are good. We can have the two generators are on. I don't need to touch this for a while. Like I said, we can't touch that until we get to about 60,000 feet anyway, so I'm not worried about that. Don't need to touch that. Don't need to touch that. Fuel cell, all that stuff is good. Don't push this button. And everything else is good. All right, let's go ahead and take a look outside real fast, see how we're doing. Laugh a rock, you're way, way, way down that end there. So what I can do is I can take my time and do like one quick loop to let everybody get caught up because I'm sitting up here up in the north side of Boston. I guess this would technically be the west side of Boston if you want to think about it kind of another way. Let me go ahead and double check to make sure my last couple pieces are here. And like I said, this is going to be a very, very, very fast flight. So we're going to have, it's going to be challenging to keep up to say the least. So let's go ahead and do it. How it's just like a gentle little in the background. It's like nothing excessive. Like you don't hear any like. There's not a lot of drama, I guess, is what I'm kind of saying here. All right, let's make sure I'll do something stupid like cut across a taxi line or something like that. There we go. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Yes, I'm taking off 15 right. I know that's against the wind, but this plane doesn't care. Unfortunately, its pilot should, just because the plane doesn't. Oh, look at that, crossing right over that threshold marker. Whoopsies. Oh, well. Sneak up here. Gotta go ahead and tap the brakes here. Double check. Not that I can see if there's anybody coming, but I get the feeling that everybody else is kind of coming from the other side anyway, so I did not expect to see that behind me. All right, I'll let Laugh a Rog come get caught up here. And SDO 91, welcome back. You're way, way down that end. Like I said, I'll kind of take my time here. I won't do anything excessive until I know we've at least obtained some form of a formation here so that we can pretend to stay close together. Again, the thing, I will make sure that you have set up your settings, so that obviously, so that you are ready to go as far as your destination goes, because once this thing gets rolling, you're going to want to know that you can get to where you need to go very safely and directly. You can see I've already got the magenta line of safety ready to rock there. All right, go ahead and tap the brakes just a little bit there. What do you think the run-up checklist on this thing is? I mean, I guess I'll kind of do my little Air Force thing here. I call it the Navy thing, where you give everybody the little quick pieces like this. You cycle the engine to make sure it doesn't break on you. Check your last knobs, check your last switches, and we should be good to go for this flight. This will be, like I said, very interesting, but I'm going to give everybody a second. I don't know what's up with this one. This must be a custom skin. This is awesome. This is definitely the picture I want to use, just in case for something comes up when we get broken up when we get to England, or Ireland, rather. All right, let's go. Nice and smoothly. I'll get the afterburner once I know that we're safe in the air. Apparently I'm holding up some traffic there. Don't mind us. B1. Rotate. Whoa! I think it's a 250 limitation here. I'll pull the nose up just a little bit here. Whoop, there's 260. We're certainly going quick enough. Try to keep it under 250. I don't know if air traffic control, if I tried to do this with VATSIM, they'd be like, maintain this speed. I'd be like, unable. It's not so much like a jet engine whine as it's like somebody running a vacuum cleaner underwater. Nice and easy here. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. There we go. Let that nose come down a little bit. 20 degrees is pretty steep for us. We got to get over 10 grand and then we can start picking up some speed. Why am I following rules? This is a made-up airplane. I don't know. I don't know. Of course, if you're in a class Bravo anyway, you're supposed to be keeping 200 or less, but oh well, what are you supposed to do? I'm keeping it nice and slow, letting everybody form up behind me. This plane is a bit of a handful. I think somebody's expression earlier, I think this was Ted, he had commented that it's a bit of a bucket. I totally agree with you. It kind of reminds me of like a B-36 kind of thing. Hey, there we go, over 10,000. Let's just take a quick look behind us, make sure everybody's catching up okay before we jam on the gas. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go to full throttle. Let the engine pick up a little bit of speed here. Afterburner on. And we'll pitch down to about 10 degrees. Swing to the right. Let's go reacquire the magenta line of safety here. And we're just going to do it nice and easy, nice and steady. This is the one time where I almost wish I had my old controller. The one I have now is on a little bit of an extension, so it makes the, like, your movements very, very, not exaggerated, but kind of. And you sort of want that extra twitchiness. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. Got a fun story about the Concorde once we get going here. There we go. 0.9. And we're just going to hold right at this until we get ourselves a little tiny bit of altitude. The flight profile, by the way, for those of you who have not played this, if you push this button, it gives you this little profile. You don't have to follow that exactly. I found once you get the thing up to the Machs, it doesn't care so much what you're doing with it, and it's actually pretty polite too. But basically, Mach 97, I'm going to hold this right up until we get to 30 grand. Then I'll push over, get us up to Mach 1.4, and then we'll kind of slide back up and make our way up to about 60,000. Flick on the Scrammies once we get up to... Scrammies, that's awesome. The Scrammies once we get up to Mach 3, and then should get us going, like I said, flight time's like 24 minutes. It's like nothing. Love it. All right, just going to hold this nice and steady. I like how we have a little button that says the word dump. It's like, yeah, you might need to do that. I took this thing cross-country as an experimental flight one time, and it took me like less than a half an hour. Like, it was like 34 minutes or something like that, which, that's so excessive. I mean, this requires more coordination than I had expected it. Where's the autopilot? Anybody got the autopilot? David Lynch? Huh. I didn't know David Lynch was a Microsoft Flight Simulator fan. Good morning, Tim. Right there. If I let go, everything should be happy. Let's see how everybody else is doing. Lafarog, you're killing it. Straight suicide. Welcome, Simon. You're killing it. You're doing a great job there. All right. Remember, when we hit 30 grand, we have to do the pushover maneuver. We'll pick up speed. We'll get up to 1.5, and then we'll pick back up to about 10 degrees. All right, there's 30 grand. You're supposed to flip upside down for this maneuver, but it's not my plane. And here we go. So I'm holding 0G right now, so I'd be floating out of my chair. It's called an unloading maneuver for you fighter jocks out there. There we go. 1.16, 1.19. You got to get about to 1.4 before you're going to be able to actually really get this thing going. It's 22,000. I'm going to go pick the nose up, start pulling it up gently. I don't want to do more than... Oop, 2 G's is way too much. There's 1.4. That's what we were hoping for. I find as long as you don't create too much drag in this thing, it's usually pretty tolerant of silliness like this. All right, let's go. And again, why I was unable to do Mach 1.5 earlier is beyond me, but hey, I didn't design the airplane. I'm just the pilot. This is where I have a feeling we're going to lose everybody. Actually, when I press the scramjet button, it's probably when I'm going to lose everybody. Now I'm still thinking about Scrammy. Like, Scrammy sounds like a nickname for scrambled eggs. Although I believe the British have an expression for something that's tasty. It's scrummy. So if you have a scrummy scrammy, so you have yummy eggs. I don't know. I'm just making that up as I go along. right, picking up speed beautifully here. This is about the speed we want to be at, 1.8. Like I said, we can't do anything until we get to 3 and about 60,000 feet. So I'm just going to enjoy this nice, gentle climb here. By gentle climb, I mean like, 15,000 feet per minute at Mach 2, but you get my feels. You get my feels. Let's go let go of the controls for a second. Take a look out the window. Laugh-a-rug, you're killing it. I'm so impressed. My understanding is if you run, you catch up to the sun, but it's sinking. This is relaxing. Like there's no like drama from the propeller. There's no excessive turbulence. I'm not dealing with air traffic control breathing down my neck. Nothing like that. Requires a lot more concentration than I expected, though. All right, I'm going to nose over just a little bit. We don't want to lose too much here, because I notice I'm not really picking up speed anymore. There we go. Now we're going to pick up some speed. Obviously, if you can maintain 700 knots at this altitude, it won't take us much to get going. All right, so as everybody knows behind me, when I cross 60,000, I'm going to activate the scram jets, just so you know. So for those of you who are keeping behind me, just keep an eye on your own altitude and your own speed. Once we hit that magical spot, we're going to flip over. 10,000 to go. Here we go. Speed's perfect. Stand by for scrammies. Warning. Goes down just a little bit. I'm losing a lot of airspeed here. And I think that's going to be close enough. Let's go. Oh! Scrammy's on. Going up. Our target altitude today will be initially 100,000, and then we'll go ahead and pitch up to about 120. There goes the jets. Pitch up to about 10 degrees here. My controls now are so light, it's like they broke. Like I've had a hydraulic failure. Easy. I love watching the distance counter go down. There's something extremely satisfying about that. That'll do it. Off we go. Look at the distance. Oh yeah. Alright, I'll go do my initial level off here. I like the little smoke that's starting to come off the nose there. If it was actual smoke, we'd have bigger problems, as they say. Alright, there's a nice -1 drop there. I'm surprised the engines didn't flame out on me. And we're good to go. Ta-da! I'm not used to having to start level them off 15,000 feet before my target altitude. I'm also not really used to traveling at these speeds on regular airplanes, so cool. I call these No Man's Sky slewing speeds. Look at the turbulence. I love it. There we go. I'm going to have to pull up a little bit before it gets away from me. Now, the interesting thing here, and I love this, is the fact that we're basically traveling on a giant grand arc here. I always think, I always get the impression when you go from west to east that you're traveling in a straight line, but realistically we're going up and over. So what'll happen is as we travel, we actually have to take a progressively long right turn here. And if we were going the other way, obviously it'd be a progressively long left turn. Now, if we had a little bit of these high altitude, I guess you want to call them trade winds, not really. We could have a lot of fun with this. And there's some dude in a 787 just coming back from England. How you doing, buddy? Poor guy. Poor guy. Got it, Simon. Excellent thinking. Like I said, we're all going to get to Dublin within 2 minutes of each other, so I think it'll be fine. Even if we break up in formation. There we go. I'm going to go swing us over this way. Again, you're going to be taking that long right turn. So right now we're flying basically, we're over Nova Scotia on the right. So that's Nova Scotia, everybody. I'll look at it quickly because it's going to be gone. Over here on my left, this is, Canada. This is New Brunswick, basically off my left. If I was a smarter person, I would have taken off from Montreal versus taking off from Boston. But I don't know, Boston's just kind of traditional. Imagine tour guides at this speed. It's so absurd. I don't know, there's just something ridiculous about this. The other thing that's scaring the crap out of me right now is I was just looking at my fuel supply here. Achoo! I don't know, maybe I'll need some. I picked up a fuel tank on the way over, just in case. Let's see, we have, this guy is in an F-14. How you doing? We have Prone Tooth here. He's chilling in a Beach 58. Simon, somehow you got way ahead of me like you said you would. Well done. Like I said, this is not a long flight. I can't even see him. Hang on, let me try and move my head to the side here. There he is. He's up there. Good job, man. Good job. I wonder if our vaunted Lafarog is able to keep up with me this time. By the way, slewing will not help you. One thing that will help you, though, is if you really get stuck and get in trouble, you can always actually activate time acceleration. So instead of doing Mach 9, you're doing Mach, 18, which is, satellite speed, which should be fast enough. Nice. Check behind me. Let's see how everybody's doing. Welcome, SDO. Welcome back. Welcome, Lafarog. Welcome back, Fasthead. MeDude666. I'm sorry, I don't recognize you right away, but welcome back. If I've missed you and straight suicide, I do not recognize you, but welcome anyway. Again, my memory is about as good as you'd expect. I'm great at names to faces. I'm terrible at faces to names. Let's concentrate. All right. So one of the fun things is many, many years ago, I got to go up to Seattle, Washington. In Seattle, Washington, they have the big Boeing Museum up there. It's a really, really, really nice museum with all sorts of really, really classic airplanes and things like that. Okay, that's all fine. And at this particular museum, they had a couple of real neat things 707s for Air Force One. And one of the things they actually had was the original Concorde, or no, well, with the original Concorde, one of the British Airways Concordes. Now, I never got to fly in a Concorde, unfortunately, which, it probably just for the best, knowing how expensive it is. Things I found amazing about that plane were how insanely small it was. I expected it, you see in the videos, this gigantic thing crashing onto the ground, basically, with this jacked up landing gear. But you actually look at the aircraft itself, and you're like, oh. I mean, it's like a little tiny narrow tube that basically, it's very, very pointed and everything like that. Like I said, very unique. Was not what I was expecting. But one of the things I was really tickled with, other than the fact that the flight engineer has a full-time job on that airplane because you have to move fuel around when you go supersonic. But one of the things that fascinated me was there was a meter in the front of the passenger section which told you the current speed of the aircraft. Now, I'm sitting there going, well, that tells you something kind of a thing. But the best part is I was talking to my dad, who had been on this one, which I think he did a lot of international travel years ago. And one of the things he had done is, people were very laissez-faire about traveling on the Concorde. You'd get up there and the Mach 1 would roll over and everybody's sitting there, sipping their tea or their wine or whatever they're having, and they're all being very chill about it. And then, of course, when you cross Mach 2, all of a sudden, no matter how normal you are, not by normal, I don't mean that, no matter how prim and proper is the word I'm going to use here, everybody gets up and starts taking pictures. They go up and they stand in front of a little sign, they snap a quick little, instant picture there. They come by and, then a bunch of other people, can you take my picture for me as we're going Mach 2? And it became this whole, procession that started coming up, which I just thought was the funniest thing. All right, so we got a great piece of trivia from Simon. The Concorde stretches 18 inches at Mach 2. I'd hate to see how much we stretch. We're moving pretty quick here. So that was always a fun thing. And one of the things, I talked to a Concorde pilot because I used to work at an air museum. And one of the things he had mentioned is the fact that the pilot would hand fly it all the way across the Atlantic because it was just easier. Because, you're not really in the air that long. It's only a few hours at most. So it was one of those things where once you get up to those speeds, it's just, the autopilot's good and all, but just easier if you hand fly the thing kind of a thing. Also, we're now flying over the last island we're going to see for a while, which is kind of unfortunate here. I'm just going to power over this. I got St. John's should be over there on my right somewhere. Not that I'm going to stick my hand out the window and look or anything like that. That can end kind of hilariously for us. So I'm not going to find out the hard way there. Again, we're going to continue our little right turn. And we're not going to see anything for a little while. It's not going to be a very long time, because like I said, our flight is not terribly long. Right now, I've only got 1,800 miles to go out of our total flight, which, like I said, is not much. And the other thing that was fun with the Concorde is another Air Museum story, is that the Concorde had to do an emergency diversion into the airport that was right next to where the Air Museum was. So because New York City, I think it was bad weather, there was an accident or something, so they had to land up here. So of course what happened is, they dropped all the passengers off and everything like that. And they said, hey, you want to sell tickets to walk around the Concorde? So we had to arrange this ridiculous, I guess you want to call them, it was a last minute bus and everything, so we could basically grab people. We opened up a fence in the airport. They let us do this and charged $5 to take them back and forth so they could go walk around inside the Concorde. But it was just one of those that was lucky kind of a moments like that. Again, just fun things you get when you work at an air museum. And that nuclear weapons, by the way, those are also fun things you find at an air museum. Now, the interesting thing here is we move into this phase of the flight as we're leaving land. I don't think we're ETOPS... we're probably ETOPS capable at 180. Oh, look at this guy in an Airbus. How you doing down there? Don't mind us. But one of the things is... Oh, I forgot my train of thought there. It's gone. It's gone. So that's it for land for a while. So what you're probably going to notice is your frame rate is going to suddenly improve, and it's going to be the best quality frames you've ever experienced in Flight Simulator history here. I remember one of the things at FSX on my old computer was getting rid of all the buildings and trees, so it was a little bit more possible to fly. Just kind of fun. Alan Williamson's asking how fast are we going. My true airspeed right now is 5790, and my Mach right now is 9.62. So we're moving. We're moving. Again, I'm not using any time acceleration. I experimented with this a little bit with time acceleration. You can time accelerate this plane up to 8x. Obviously, 8 times 9 is a pretty big number, 54,000 miles an hour. So you can get around the world in basically half an hour. That being said, your computer will probably melt a little bit. Mine always sounds like it's getting ready for, takeoff, literally, as we're doing this. And also, everybody appreciates my long, gentle right turn so that we can get to our destination here. It's so weird. We should have gone to Spain. It would have been a shorter flight. Well, yeah, basically. A lot less turning also. Alright, just come around. I'm amazed I'm able to hold this altitude so well. Not that I'm doing a great job of it. Not exactly within the airman certification standards or anything like that, but I don't think they use this plane as something you do your private pilot in. Pretty amusing if you did, though. Because I guess you need a type rating because it's a jet. I can just imagine, the flight inspectors, like, all right, let's go flying, go out to the flight liner or whatever, and you walk up next to this thing. It's like, yeah, you can get in the back. And it's just like, what? Imagine doing turns around a point at like 250 knots. That'd be kind of fun. Oh, there's probably some obscure regulation that does not allow you to operate. I think, actually, you need a private before you can get a type, so maybe that's what it is. Oh, well. Like that little camera looking straight down there at the bottom. Kind of come out of my turn here. I have to line myself back up. There we go. Moves down just a teeny tiny bit. This requires concentration, but at the same time not concentration. Although one thing I just noticed is if you look really, really carefully... nope, never mind. You can see the curvature of the Earth, by the way. There's a guy in a 747 way out there. How's that going? I love how quiet it is. That's so much fun. Oh, I looked away. Now we're diving. All right, we are just coming up on the almost halfway point. Greenland, by the way, is going to be right off our left wing. I don't know that we're actually going to be able to see it very well, but it is going to be out there in just a few moments. And then basically, we're going to get a quick little blitz at Iceland there. We're not going to cross Iceland or anything like that. And then we're going to have to basically coast into Ireland. I was experimenting with techniques to land this thing, and the only strategy that I found that seems to work is basically aim at the ground at high speed and hope you have enough runway. I know that sounds like a very safe and FAA-approved technique, but it's about the best I've come up with so far. Swing to the right. We'll be on the ground very shortly. Might not look like it, but we will. All right, Greenland's going to be coming up on the left wing. Greenland is right over here. Now, why I can't see it, I'm actually not sure. I kind of expected I could see far enough. Look at the little puffs of clouds. It should be right here. All right. Now, do you think we have to contact air traffic control? Not that they could use the radio at this altitude or anything like that. I think the ionization of the hull, tribo-electrification is a fun word, by the way, is probably going to interfere with any outgoing communications that are at least in the VHF band. Not to mention, we're still a little far away. We're a good solid 1,400 miles away from our destination. This is great. I cannot believe how fast this thing goes. You could use this to, fly across Russia or something like that, and you'd probably get there in a reasonable amount of time. There we go. All right, I'm going to take one more peek at Greenland here, but I just want to continue my right turn. Looks good. Come out of this turn just a little bit. Like I said, does not take much. I love the curvature of the Earth on the screen. Great touch. Let's see. Any Greenland? Come on, Greenland. I know you're right here. Oh, well. This kind of reminds me of a flight we did a little while ago where we are flying the stunt planes at very low altitude. Although I don't think I'd want to take this aircraft down to low altitude. It's just not, it's not safe. The F-18 is probably a much better choice if we're going to do that. Save it for another day, though. Of course, yes, people who know me well probably comment on the fact our next flight was supposed to be in a Cessna 152. We'll do that eventually, don't worry. There we go. Jet King. Hey, I'm being... Look at that! Okay, that's cool. I'm being passed in the other direction by a Concorde. That's excellent. How's it going down at 65,000 feet, buddy? Oh, man, that is so funny. Of course, he's looking at me go by. I'm going by him, and there's a big pack of folks behind me as well, and we're all passing each other at the same time. Oh my God, that is just priceless right there. I did not expect to pass the Concorde coming the other direction. Then again, we're taking the same flight path, essentially, so. Hey, what's up? That's awesome. Okay, that's awesome. I did not expect that at all. All right, we have about 1,200 miles to go. We're going to be coming up on Iceland in a second here. I love this gentle right turn you have to take to cross the Atlantic. There's just something very apropos about that. But yes, like I was saying, we're thinking about Cessna 152s next time. I'm not 100% sure where I want to fly. We haven't done any real mountain flying in a little while. There's a couple places in Africa we definitely could check out. We haven't done India well yet, so I definitely am thinking about India as well. I'm also thinking about, we did Nepal a while ago. We also can look into places like Dubai and the UAE and stuff like that. Qatar is pretty neat. So those are kind of the places that I'm leaning towards now for our next little journey. I'll be switching over to my summer schedule very, very soon, which is going to make it much, much easier to facilitate these. The winter this year was absolutely absurdly crazy busy. Unbelievably so. And in case you're curious about real-world flying, I got to fly a couple weeks ago. It was a night flight. Night flight's always great because you don't have as much traffic. Of course, you can't see anything, so it's it is what it is. It's not nearly as bright as it is in Flight Sim, but it is not nearly as dark as it is in X-Plane either. All right, this is going to sound weird, but we have to start thinking about descent. Very strange, very, very strange. I still am tickled the Concorde went the other way, though. I was not expecting to see that. All right, hold the nose down. So my descending technique on this is incredibly unscientific. When it says that I'm 100 nautical miles away, I just start descending, which I know you're all sitting there going, and how do you intend to do that safely? Just pull the throttle back. It stops. I think at one point I tried descending at 500 nautical miles and ended up being too low, too fast, because this thing does slow down very quickly. Thank you, atmospheric heating. Or friction, I should say. And my center of gravity is slowly shifting backwards. Of course, what everybody wants to see here is to see how bad I mess up the landing. Because this thing is not easy to land. And I'm sure Dublin Airport is a very, very short runway also. So don't be surprised if I have to use some emergency braking there. Apparently there's somebody in the back seat of this thing, too. Speaking on airplane releases and fast airplanes, MiG-21 just came out. That's extremely, extremely tempting to check out. Phoenix released his Airbus A320, which is also very, very, very interesting. I'm tempted, but I'm not an Airbus person. I don't know, I'm too old-fashioned, I guess, with trim. Yes, I've been warned that this thing is a little difficult to land. I completely agree, PlayStation Action. Yeah, we're going into Dublin, that's correct. The big thing with landing this thing is you just can't see, so you always end up coming down faster than you think you are. That's at least been my experiences with it. It is doable, it is landable, but just with the distance we're going to have to land, it's going to be sketchy. Emergency fuel transfer. Good to have, good to have. Anyone seen a KC-135? Simon, there was a Concorde a few miles back if you want to go hook up with him. I'm actually doing okay on combustibles. I did cheat a little bit, though, so feel free to get some in-flight refueling if you need it. Apparently, this plane can make this flight. According to Flight Sim, it's just on its maximum range. So theoretically, if we were a little bit more ginger with our flight profile, we probably could have made it easily. All right, what do we got? 921 nautical miles. We're almost ready to land. Dublin approach, Darkstar 1, flight of 6 is 900 miles to the west. Request full stop, Dublin. That's going to be an interesting discussion. Now, the problem is if we did have this plane and we were landing in Dublin, they'd probably seal off the airport so nobody could get, pictures and stuff of this. I get the feeling it's a fairly classified piece of machinery here. Oh my gosh. I told you it'd be the longest and fastest flight we've ever taken. Anyone have any suggestions for where we should fly a Cessna 152? actually have to get like runway information and stuff like that. I think the safest way to do it is going to probably be land in the direction we're flying. The problem is the wind is technically from the west, so that could be interesting for us. I'm still like, I love the Concorde. That was such a great touch. Such a great touch to see him coming the other way. That would be the picture that I would take. But I think the picture we took up in Boston is probably going to be the picture I'll use for this, because it just doesn't happen very often. Now, if we were lucky, the aircraft carrier would exist in the world, so we could all like take off and land from the aircraft carrier. That seems like a terrible idea until you try it in a Cessna 172, and you're like, hey, this is great. 765 to go. I gotta think about slowing down. I can't do the math fast enough, but let's just see here. 758, I'm doing 570, that's 1,000. It's about 1/10 of an hour. What is it? That's about 6 minutes away. We should probably think about slowing down. Yeah, we want to wait to the very end. We want to scare the good air traffic controllers. They'll probably think that we're a meteor entering the atmosphere right now. Although we're a little slow for a meteor. Kind of look like one with a fire, though. This thing is made out of pure unobtainium. Flight simium. There's a mod for this out already that takes you up to Mach 30. Obviously, that would be space shuttle speeds, but hey, everybody's different. Tractor Mang. I have no idea who that is, unfortunately. I will take a quick look around to see if I see somebody with that name. Lafarog, Simon. Oh boy, nope. No say, no say. Oh my gosh. Now I have to worry about landing this thing. I have to like get my feet in the right position again and everything like that. I've just been kind of doing this like leisurely, just tapping the joystick every once in a while kind of a thing and letting the flight computer go, I'll get back to you on that. The world's worst hydraulic system. Maybe they're manual controls and not even like hydraulic because it's just too fast. These little, trim tabs in order to move the whole control surface. The speed brakes, by the way, on this thing are awesome. Very original. Let's see here. 600 to go. Oh boy. As soon as I see Ireland on the map, I'm going to start my descent, just so everybody knows. I wouldn't worry about it too much, Viper. Like I said, it is the longest flight we've ever taken. It's also the shortest. I think Vegas with the stunt planes, that might have been the shortest, but that was also the most stressful. So we should do that again. That was super fun. All right, here, probably do something like up in Georgia or something like that. All right, get ready, everybody. Ireland's going to become visible. Whoa, what have I done? We should start to see Ireland in just a moment. Hey, look, there's someone in a 787 coming back the other way. Ooh, 40,000 feet. Oh, man. Oh, 40,000. You're up there, man. You still down there where the clouds are? I'd love that. Who's that? Oh, we got an Airbus A320. Good luck, sir. Good luck, sir. Enjoy your flight. I guarantee you my flight's going to get there before your flight even gets a quarter of the way there. Ah. All right, come on, Ireland. Show yourself. I love how quiet it is. It's like a gentle wind. How's it going, Narful? So XR Viper, this is, if you actually go on, if you type in SR-72 into Wikipedia, you'll find about how real this plane is. And there is a plane like it that Lockheed Martin was developing to basically kind of pick up from where the SR-71 left off, but there isn't actually a working model of it, like at least what I'm flying in. If you go watch the new Top Gun movie, the second one, I think, yeah, you'll actually be able to see Tom Cruise version of taking this thing around. This is just Microsoft's idea of a fun time. And I figured, how's it going? XRX navigating, pretty straightforward. What I have is actually dialed in the GPS at the beginning so that I could go set up everything that I needed to do, and I've just been following this magenta line this entire time. Very scientific, I know, for an aircraft like this. I mean, it tells me everything I need to know, because here's my altitude, there's my speed, there's my where I need to be. If the GPS died on me suddenly, I'd be navigating by looking, in which case I know if I keep heading in this direction, I'm going to eventually hit Europe. So that's about as much navigation as I'm going to require here. All right. Gotcha. No problem. Okay, come on, Ireland. Now, I have to say I've never been to England or Ireland. I think they're both great. I've made comments about this many times when we've flown in England before. Lots of things I'd love to see when I come here. I just think it's amazing that there are countries like in the United States, our history is not that long. You know, when you get to Europe, they've had a lot longer to make history. And, you know, there's a lot of things like that. It's just cool, especially if you go to the Middle East. All right, any second. Come on, don't disappoint me. There it is. Ta-da! And there's Ireland. We made it. And you thought we were going to get lost. To the right, just a teeny tiny bit here. And then I have to start my descent. And then we got to see who's all behind us and who we lost and who we kept. I had a feeling there was no way even the legendary Laffle would be able to keep up with this time. But he's doing a great job of it right now. And then Simon, you're way above us, but doing a great job as well. We lost the other three, but like I said, they'll catch up by the time we get down there. And I'm just about out of hydrogen too, so this is good timing on our part. Hey, there's Ireland. You can see it now. Nice. PlayStation, the way that I know is I know the flight path we're taking. So the first thing we're going to hit on this side of the Atlantic has to be Ireland. Although, like, you're right. I could be wrong. I'm just pretty confident that that's what it is. Especially since we don't have it's not a long island. It's kind of a flat island. And there it is. We made it. Not bad. Not bad. Now we got to land. All right. Put my hand back on the throttle. Put my feet back on the rudder pedals. Actually got to operate the plane now. All right. Slowing down. Here we go. This is half throttle, by the way. So Fendel just pointed out, I could be using celestial navigation to do this. You're right. I could use celestial navigation. And as insane as this is going to sound, Fendel, they actually use celestial navigation for the Trident nuclear submarine launch ballistic missile. That's how it knows where it is. And I find that very fascinating because it's one thing if you're, an airplane doing celestial navigation. It's another thing entirely when you're a ballistic missile traveling ballistic missile speeds doing celestial navigation, which I always thought was super fascinating. This is going to be a leisurely descent. Raptor 1 says, Artemis is getting real-world shakedowns of Ukraine. Excellent. Something's beeping. Yeah, I love that. For those of you who are interested in very, 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 very high-speed travel, there's a sim called Orbiter. It's completely free, and they do things like space shuttles, and they do aircraft like this, but you have the whole planet to check out. Definitely worth checking out. It was an obsession of mine way before I got into flight simulating. Because again, those are free things to play with. All right, I gotta figure out where the runway is. All right, does anybody know Dublin? Does anybody got a road map of Dublin? Yeah, I hear the thing beeping at me right now. You can actually see the two dots. I do like that for re-entering our atmosphere here. I'm still doing 2600. We're moving. I'm pretty sure it's an east-west runway, and I think there's another primary runway as well. But like I said, we're going to have to slow down a lot harder than this because we're still doing 2200. All right, just a teeny tiny bit here. I think my engine's... Nope, I'm waiting for my regular engines to catch back on. We're a little too high for the jet engines to even work. Hey, there they go. Jet engines coming online. Excellent. Look at how hot the Scrammies are. 5400, and the doors are closing up too. All right, a little to the right, a little to the left. Hey, we found Fast Steady's back. Now, this is my idea of flying style. 10 left. Thanks, Simon. All right, 10 left. So we are we're basically perfectly lined up here. Windows up just a teeny tiny bit here. I think it's kind of fun now when you're learning to fly. Your standard cross country is required to have 50 nautical miles in it. And the 50 nautical miles that you travel is like the longest 50 nautical miles of your life. because, you know, you're flying at propeller speed, so it takes about 30 minutes to complete the flight. But that entire time, you're sitting there panicking. Am I lost? Am I in the right spot? What have I done? You know, all these other things you're constantly, you know, worrying about. We're 50 miles away now, and watch how not long this is going to take us to get there. Like I said, just the concept of the whole thing is amazing. I love how they did that correctly. Wait for it. Love it. Alright, we gotta slow down. I wonder why the scramjet's still showing 5400. That kind of bothers me a little bit. I feel like I may have melted something back there. Or the software's not working properly. Either way. Alright, where's the runway? Hello! Nose down just a little bit. We're still 20,000 feet up here. Man, what a flight that was. Holy smokes. Still something gently beeping in my ear here. I'm not 100% sure what alarm I forgot to disable here. I'll pop these two just in case. Oh, not the issue. That was not a happy sound. I saw it a second ago, now I'm trying to reacquire it visually. We gotta come to the right a little more. Yep, scrammer's off. Oh, what the heck? Thanks for the tip. I closed the switch expecting it to hit the switch, but it did not shut itself off. Alright, emergency sound off. Thanks, Coco. Great touch, thanks guys. Wait, I didn't think about slipping this airplane. I'll just slip it into land. Oh, okay. We're safe, everybody. We're safe. Alright, see it? There's your destination. I didn't say you couldn't slip. I don't think there's a thing in the manual that says you're not allowed to do this. So I'm just gonna do what I would do with a regular propeller airplane. Boy, look at that. Red 64 with you. I guess it would be Dublin control. Dublin control, Red 64 with you. 30 nautical miles to the west to land with information. I don't know, we'll call it Juliet today. And they'll fly straight in 10 left or something like that. Yes. Yep. I'm just going to fly this plane sideways to the ground. Just easier. Oh, so XR Viper is asking, how do I add things to the GPS? There's a couple different ways to do that. The simplest way is that when you created the flight plan for this original mission, you can just define any of the characteristics of the flight you need, and it'll load it into the GPS. The second method that works well is if you have the GTN 750 mod, which is that little like pop-up that you can click on, you can change things in the GPS as you fly. I love how that's the end of the runway there. A slip is not flying. A slip means you're not flying well. So the approach speed on this thing is supposed to be about 185, 190. It's not like we got flaps or anything. And I was really hoping I could, like, you know, see where I need to land here, but this is, there it is. All right, good luck, everyone. Now, I'm a little bothered with the fact that we have a second runway here. Let's go ahead and slip it. There's no manual. Not that I've found XR Viper correct. All right, slow down. Wish me luck, everybody. This is probably going to end with a little bit of ground handling. I must guarantee it. Slip it a little bit. Oh, I can't slip as well at this speed. You're down. You know, if I was a smart person, I'd do ILS. That'd probably be safer. nice golf course. Oh, there's the runway. Here we go. So I call this the video game method. So you gotta remember, this is really important, and it was my mistake that probably the first 10 times I tried to land this thing. 10 left, you said? I'm landing for that one right there, the big wide one. I don't care which one that is. Okay, so what we gotta do here is you gotta remember that the plane needs to land fairly flat. So even though it says I'm doing 195 knots and I'm moving really quick here, oh my god, my left foot's shaking. We can't pull up too much, otherwise we'll pancake. Here we go. Thanks, Pedro. I'm sorry. Pedro, what the heck is that? Yeah, see how I'm starting to get a higher angle of attack there? I'm at like 6 to 7 degrees. You really can't land at 6 to 7 degrees with this thing. And remember, you're higher off the ground than the display shows. I'm lower. Bad timing for that comment. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. I just bounced a $50 billion aircraft. Whoops! So I forgot that the controls are delayed. We're here! Oh! Ouch! Ouch! We're here. It was looking good. It was looking good. That would have been a go-around. All right, let's welcome to Dublin, everybody. Welcome to Dublin. Why is the population so large in this city? Because it's Dublin? No, it's just funny. All right, let's go. So Alan, I am on i9 10850K with the 12 core, and I have a 380 GTX. So that's the graphics I have. So I don't know if that answers your question or not. All right, let's go. Hey, at least I got like the first turn off. Oh my gosh, what a flight, what a flight, what a flight. I don't know how much it costs, PlayStation. I'm just having fun. The key thing is positive control of the aircraft. Yeah, exactly. I have no idea. There's La Farag, and now we should probably sit here patiently waiting for everybody else to come in here. Yeah, I was doing pretty well with the approach, and then when I pulled the throttle back to kind of slow down a little bit, the thing just... I was just too high up. And like I said, that is tough. And yes, I know I can see the giant yellow X, which tells me don't do this. Oh, man. Oh, I can see why we're not supposed to do this, because it doesn't go anywhere. Oh well. I'm going to go tap the brakes here. All right, folks, we have made it to the end. Somehow this incredible aircraft has gotten us. That was great. I have no idea. So this was, like I said, super duper fun to fly. It's a lot of airplane, and I mean a lot of airplane. It's a shame that I'm still waiting on Fast Ted here. He's got about 2,800 feet to go. And we also have some hugs and kisses over here, 83 feet. Apparently they don't have an airplane, so I'm not going to worry. What? What? I guess I'll kind of get a picture there because I don't want to miss that here. All right, let's take a picture and call that our victory one. As always, when we reach the end, I always like to see if anybody has any questions or comments or suggestions for future flights. Like I said, we're in the summer schedule, so it should be a little bit easier. Exactly. All right, let's do some reckless flying as everybody's deciding what they want to do there. Whee! I did not break it. The plane is fine, thank you. Let's see if you can get this thing up to like 4 or 5 Gs here. No, it's gonna hold me at 3.5. Uh-oh. Oh no! That would have ended terribly. All right, folks, as always, thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you've enjoyed today. I'll keep an eye on comments and things like that. That would have been pretty bad there. I think I almost planted that one, and I didn't want to do this. This is a this is a 3080 GTX is the card that I'm using here, and that should be pretty good. No, I can fix it. I swear, oh, God. I can fix it. I swear I can fix it. Oh, God. See, I'm fixing it. See, it's fixed. I fixed it. Whoa. Nope, that's less fixed. Oh, fixing. Oh, God. See, I fixed it. All fixed. Whee! All right, folks. Oh, no! Even my ground handling can't save me with this thing. It's just tough to fly. Thanks so much, Alan. Really appreciate it. All right, folks, have a wonderful afternoon and wonderful rest of the day. And like I said, we're going to do something in Cessna 152s next time. I kind of promise. Unless there's an airplane that I can't refuse, in which case we don't have a choice in that regard. Other than that, have an absolutely wonderful day, and we'll see you again. Enjoy.